Hello, I'm Professor Not Me, and today on the Book Show, I will be arguing the importance of stories in completing our understanding of the whole human experience. In an interview, Anthony Doerr says that without stories, we become trapped in the prison of the familiar. This is true in that without stories, we are only aware of our own experiences and are blind to the world outside of ourselves. Historical fiction allows composers to explore different perspectives surrounding humanity's worst tragedies and challenge the danger of a single story. Composers can explore paradoxes of human nature, such as the banality of evil as it relates to social expectations and personal ambition. The historical setting is often only a backdrop for issues the composer believes to be of modern concern, and thus are valuable as a ways of warning against repeats of such tragedy. Anthony Doerr uses his novel All the Light We Cannot See to counteract the blinding effect of a single story by creating a more complete picture of the experience of the Second World War. By highlighting the German perspective, Doerr seeks to highlight the importance of one's environment, or nurture, in one's descent into evil, and by doing so, argue the very nature of evil. Both Marie-Laure and Werner are written as bright, passionate children, whose stories mirror one another. Doerr gives Werner's interest in technology, and his ambition to leave Zollverein and become an engineer, as a cause for his descent into evil, as he is forced to play a more active role in the Nazi state to achieve his ambition. Marie-Laure is not made to face such a dilemma. We can see Doerr make Werner justify his ambition in half the boys who get admitted don't manage to graduate, but maybe I'll learn something. Maybe they'll teach me to be a proper engineer. This statement highlights a fundamental paradox created by human ambition, the banality of evil. Werner's ambition to fulfill his potential and better his career is contingent upon advancing up the Nazi ladder. Coined by Hannah Arendt during the Eichmann trials, the banality of evil argues that one could do evil without being evil. Doerr argues by constantly addressing the differences between Werner's and Marie-Laure's environment that without the existence of the Nazi state, Werner would not have needed to partake in their evil in order to achieve his ambition. This is an important argument in favor of absolving individual wrongdoers of their actions if they exist within an evil society. Can someone be responsible for their actions if society makes refusing near impossible? The scene with the captive Jew is designed to address this question. Doerr contests this, using the voice provided to him by the story, to make it plain that in his view, in some societies, that is not an option. Doerr writes, everyone is trapped in their roles. Orphans, cadets, Frederick, Polkheimer. When his turn arrives, Werner throws the water like all the others. Werner is shown to understand the evil of his actions, but detaches emotional responsibility from himself, since he, in that moment, does not act as an individual. This is a powerful example of how stories can be used to reframe an action, to argue an interpretation of history which can be brought outside the confines of the past and into the present, because of the fundamental aspect of human nature depicted. Doerr is not exclusively telling the stories of Nazis, but of everyone who commits evil. Another example of a story which presents an argument is John Canaday's The Revelation. Canaday argues that even in quote-unquote good societies, the banality of evil still exists, and he uses the development of the atomic bomb as evidence of this. The story of the bomb is often limited to the perspectives of its victims. However, Canaday has chosen to depict the perspectives of the scientists who developed it in order to raise the question of who is ultimately responsible for evil. Through Some People Laugh, Some Cry, I Say, It Worked, Canaday addresses a paradox of the human emotion, where the audience and the scientists in the poem know what the bomb will be used for, and yet some of them laugh at its successful testing. Canaday does not suggest that the men laughing are evil, simply that they have, like Werner, dedicated themselves to an ambition and have detached themselves from the consequences of that ambition. In I Am Become Death, Destroyer of Worlds, perhaps we all think that, one way or another. Canaday posits, it is possible to both acknowledge the evil consequences of your actions, while at the same time disconnecting yourself emotionally. However, unlike Doerr, Canaday's scientists are Americans, thereby avoiding the excuse that they acted under an evil society. Rather, through the story he has written, the reader is forced to question whether it is even possible to avoid inflicting evil unto someone in wartime. By manipulating the historical settings, Doerr and Canaday use stories to expose, highlight and explore paradoxes of human nature and to argue their interpretations of those paradoxes. The ability of stories to expose and to be a platform for an argument is what makes stories so significant in understanding the human experience.